Hey, scholars. So, for this week, we're going to end imperialism in Africa and India and start talking about capitalism and communism and our introduction to World War One. So, I wanted to go over this week's materials and the directions in your weekly guided notes. If you take a look at Monday, there are two political cartoons, right? And these political cartoons are in reference to imperialism, specifically in Africa. So there's a poem attached to it called White Man's Burden. It's a poem that many world history classes study when talking about imperialism. Very controversial poem now, but many of the attitudes in this poem were pretty common at the time. So we need you to analyze the political cartoons in the poem. There are a few questions when you get done reading the poem that will require you to really dig deep and think about what the poem is saying and what the message is of cartoons as well. If we move on to Tuesday's directions, Tuesday we're going to finish imperialism by watching and doing two ed puzzles. One is about India. I'm also going to make another video explaining the crown jewel in the British Empire, which is what India was called. And you'll find out more about why India was called the crown jewel in the video that I'll make for India. For the Opium War was related to imperialism as well. And you will also watch and do an ed puzzle of that. For Wednesday, you notice I created like a chart just to simplify the differences between capitalism and communism. So I created like FAQs or frequently asked questions on the left. And, just to help you better understand like the differences between the two economic systems. We started talking about this, I want to say in quarter three, when we talked about mercantilism and we talked about like how the slave trade changed the way the global trade operated in the way that people made money and the way people started businesses. And so the Industrial Revolution caused economic systems to expand and grow and different theories from different philosophers to happen. And then when we move down, there's a text about communism that explains like where it came from, the famous document called the Communist Manifesto, and all the details with communism. There are questions also attached to that. For Thursday's directions, there is a News ELA article called Comparing Economic Systems, Capitalism, Communism, and Socialism. All right, so you will have to read that article. It will be assigned in Google Classroom in the weekly guided notes section and in that topic, and then you will answer the question, and then there's a writing prompt attached to it. This writing prompt says, explain the differences between capitalism, communism, and socialism. Which system do you think is the better system and why? Or is the best and why? Right? It will require about 5 to 7 sentences. And then Friday's directions are simple. You will just need to watch one ed puzzle called Alliances Leading Up to World War One. Of course, you'll answer the questions in that ed puzzle. And then you will need to read 4 to 5 pages in your online textbook, section 2, which is talking about the leading up to the events that led up to World War One. All right. If you have any questions, as always, you can always reach out to me. I'm here for you either on email, in Google Classroom, or on Zoom. Hopefully you have a great week. And again, thanks again for everything that you do and for those who are submitting work on time. I really appreciate you. Those who are asking for help, I really appreciate you. Thank you.